on the road to nowhere. Try to stop, but I don't know it. On the road to nowhere. I try to stop, but I don't know where. Cut the gas and goes down. There's too much traffic in this town. On the road to nowhere, to nowhere. You would change like the leaves in September. So cold that you freeze with the weather. One day we're done and the next we're together. You show whatever. Step to the heart, but you won't stop the bleeding. You only come around when you need it. I'm sick of listing all the reasons, all my reasons. You're not right for me, but here I am staying in spite of it, in spite of it. In the winter you're gone. Shapeshifter you ride. Yeah, you're gone. You're a ghost in the night, you come and visit. When the sun comes up, it's like you didn't. Was it a dream? Was it a vision? Too deep in it. Spun out, yeah, you got me dizzy. Somehow you make it look so pretty. Feel extra fun, your words cut through me. No, I can't breathe. You're not right for me, but here I am staying in spite of it, in spite of it.
trying to energize ourselves. That's what we're doing. We're trying to get ourselves energized for Hydra. Hello, everyone. Right, I need to change to that. And we need to do this. There we go. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was messing around with my mic. You know, still trying to get the new layout with the bigger monitor setup. How's it all going? Hello, cat. Yeah, Fusion announcement today. We'll probably talk about it. Still have a bit. We'll probably talk about it. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the microphone in the right position and get it lined up better. So it's a constant struggle. Unfortunately, I have one of those desks where I can't quite get like the mic. Like the mic, the way these stands come is basically there's three parts to it. The part that sort of hooks onto the desk doesn't really fit because the little arch lever thing gets in the way of the cabinet's feet per se. So I've had to like move it further down the desk and then get it into the right position. You play with these things. Who's Mike? Yeah, this is Mike, who I speak to you through. He's almost like a third person. Like he speaks to you through me. It's all kind of like, you know. You're having a Crizia now. Wow, that's big. There is a times 10 Gnut on tomorrow, isn't there? I'm sitting on 7 Sacreds, and that well, not tomorrow, is it? Wednesday? That times 10 Gnut looks really interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. Will the panda get 2 turns in a row paired with Cornelia? I don't know. What does Cornelia do? Don't tell YST, he'll be shouting at me right now. Is she a dark elf or is she a dwarf, right? That's Morag. Why would it get 2 turns? At best, it gives him 50% turn meter fill. At best, you're going to get 50% turn meter fill, right? I mean, this is good, but this is not what people use Cornelia for in the arena. They use Cornelia as like a budget Kaimar, essentially. It doesn't quite remove all the buffs, but that's kind of like how you use him, right? You just kind of use it as a budget Kaimar kind of thing, and then you start increasing the cooldowns of the A1 and stuff like that. But you going for the CVC 1+1? I don't know. Decided that's it. Well, wherever the cat went, she vanished. I don't know. I kind of want a second Gnut. I mean, that's the thing. The second Gnut is like, it's probably more valuable than an Acrizia, if I'm being honest. Just because you can do things with 2 Gnuts you can't do with 1. Like, you can like do things crazily in Fire Knight with 2 Gnuts that you can't do with 1, right? So it's kind of like, you know, exactly, Crouching. Yeah, you think you're on the same thought process as me there. I'm just thinking about like things I could do with a second Gnut. It's like, but you know, like times 10 is kind of pointless. So I don't know. You know. Currently building my newly found Shamael for Hydra. Is there any required stats to have? Well, there's 2 ways you can build Shamael: either a damage build or a tank build, right? So the damage build would be full damage, full nuke, you know, exactly the way you would do it, lethal, full damage, everything, going absolutely crazy. You don't really need lethal, to be honest, because you're going to ignore defense, right? So you don't need lethal, but just like full crit damage, full attack, go all out. The other way that people build him is in a Guardian Mischief tank role. So you build him really slow, like about 130 speed, high resistance, so that he absorbs all the buffs, normally has more buffs than everyone else. Put him in like a... what's that? The shield. What's it called? The artifact, the accessory set that gives you a shield when you attack. I can't remember the name of it. Put him in that, so he always has a shield as well. And you basically make him like a guardian tank, essentially. You put him in Guardian, so he heals a little bit, but he absorbs damage in, and he just sits and becomes a mischief tank. That's the other way you can build him, if you want him to go that way. Blood Shield, that's the name. Thank you, guys. So that's the two ways you can kind of build him, either full damage or kind of like this slow Guardian-esque Blood Shield tank for the mischief. So... I don't know, Bill. Honestly, when the Cadaver team is already doing 32 billion, does it really matter? I did see someone suggest that he could replace the Krisk so that he becomes like the Krisk extender with the double Yumiko, and then you get like a big start. And you know, once you grow the shield, it'll be big. The problem is you need buffs on the enemy, right? So once you start getting that shield to a position where it's really big that you're doing, you know, like 10 billion damage, it basically means you're one-shotting heads. So the heads never get a chance to take a turn. So if they can't take a turn, they can't get buffs. If they can't get buffs, you can't grow the shield. So it's kind of like, is there really a window where you're going to be able to make that work? Because it's conditional on reducing the buff duration. And when they respawn, they have a protected buff. You can't reduce that. When they have Poison Cloud, it's protected. You can't reduce that. When the Wrath Head pops his thing, you can't reduce that. So there's very few situations that you're going to have lots of buffs. The only way it works is if the Mischief Head steals lots of buffs and spreads it across, and then you're kind of like, are you just trying to make something happen that you don't need to? Is it just too much for what you need, you know? And that's my opinion. I just think it's too much effort for not a massive payoff. You know, it's not like it's increasing the shield by like 1 million, because you have to have a big shield to begin with. And if you've got a big shield, then you're killing the heads in one shot, which defeats the point, you know? I can't see it. I just can't see it. What would you gain by bringing that instead of just a second Cadaver or second ally attacker or like a second Yumiko or a third Yumiko? You know what I mean? It's like you're squeezing him in for basically no real gain. I don't think you can, Cool. I really don't think you can grow the shield that much, because I think by the time you get to the point where you want to grow it, because you got to remember it's percentage based on the current shield, so I don't think you can grow it big enough. Because by the time you get it big enough, you're one-shotting heads anyway, and they can't get buffs, so you don't get the payoff. No, we're just talking about it now, Kessel. So, I don't know. I think someone will probably figure it out, but I just don't see... I think they'll actually spend more time trying to make it work than just building the standard Cadaver team. Yeah, I'll get him because he's unique. But I don't... Like, I'll be honest, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I cannot see how the passive works. I just don't understand how the passive works, right? I just don't get it. Let's see. Let me bring up the pictures. Where is it? Let's bring this up. And then... Still working on getting a better layout. And if I go to that. Oh. That is not good. Where is it? Where is it? Properties. No. Where is the... Being blind, give me a second. Current song properties needs to be that. Nope. Properties needs to be that. There we go. There we go. Cheers, man. I appreciate all the insight and breakdowns you provided the Green. No worries, Green Virus. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much for the dollars. Right, took me a while. I need to just move like this over here so I know what I'm seeing, and this over here. Ultra wide monitors are so cool, but they are an absolute pain to set up. Let's close that. There we go. Reason I'll be going for the fusion, 10% you might prove to someone used, 30% I'm bored in between the fusion slump. Exactly. I mean, you're going to do it anyway. So how should I build cardio for clan boss? High defense or high damage? And it depends on the team. If you're in an unkillable team, high damage. If you're not in an unkillable team, then tanky enough to survive. Normally that means you want to get to around about 2600 defense. It depends what progression you're in as well, right? It's a very broad question. It depends heavily on the team that you're running. So the biggest problem I have is this passive. I just don't see how it's going to work. Because firstly, you're never, ever, ever going to be able to have him in the lead. Ever. This aura is never going to work. If you want to use his passive, you can never use his aura. Because essentially, the way that the battle engine works is the champion in the highest team order is the first champion to receive damage. Which if that's the case, it means he wakes up before he ever has a chance to transfer any debuffs. So essentially, he has to be last in the team order. And that assumes that the debuffs apply in order, right? So does it go damage hero 1, damage hero 2, damage hero 3, then debuff hero 1? Or does it go damage hero 1, then debuff hero 1, then move on to the next one? Because if it does the first one, then he's always going to wake up, it's never going to work. If he does the second one, then sure, you could steal some debuffs, but it's going to wake him up, which means this active effect is never going to work because you have to physically wake yourself up, right? If sleep debuff was removed from this champion by this champion, so it has to do this second part. He has to take a turn whilst he's asleep in order for him to send the debuffs away. So that means on bosses, he has to be going like 2 to 1. And for a lot of high-end content, he's never going to do that. It's never going to happen. So this passive, I think, is utterly useless. Because he's never going to be asleep. If it was stun, better, right? Because you can't wake someone up from a stun. But a sleep debuff, you're always just going to wake them up all the time. And it doesn't even need to be much of anything. It could be literally like 2 damage. You only have to sneeze on the giant panda and it's going to wake up. So, fortunately, it's always rubbish. All right, I know. Saf, do you think double Demither clan boss with Doom Priest, Draco, and Whisper could be a 1 key? Yes, if Whisper can manage it. Does Whisper break it? There's no speed buff, so yeah, it should be fine. It probably could, as long as you got good gear, it probably can. So but in arena, it does force you to hit him. Well, not really cool. Because incidental damage will wake him up. You know, it could be an AoE effect. It could be like, you know, there's so many AoEs. I mean, you know, you can wake it up with Siphi. I don't really see the problem. Because remember, for him to go to sleep, he has to take a turn. So it's not like you're chasing your tail here. He has to take a turn first for him to even be asleep. I just can't see. I can't see any situation where this is ever going to mean anything. It's not 100%. It can't transfer any crowd control. So at best, it's going to like eat a decreased defense you might steal, or a decreased attack, or maybe like a heal reduction or something of that nature. So interestingly, it doesn't say it doesn't transfer sleep debuff. So maybe it can sleep himself from the sleep. I don't know. It's interesting, right? I just, you know, I just don't see it. I can't see what way would like. And even if you wake him up and he transfers the debuffs, what does it matter? He's just gonna get polymorphed. Like, this enfeeble is pointless. This enfeeble, from an arena meta perspective, is utterly pointless because it doesn't bypass Stone Skin, it doesn't bypass immunities, it's not protected, so it's easily cleansed. It's on a 4-turn cooldown on a single target. Like, the whole point of this is to stop a nuker. That's kind of like the purpose of it, is to stop a nuker, or maybe someone from, like, you know, maybe you can enfeeble the Warlord, for example. Now, if you can get him to go first, then maybe this is quite good if you're fighting someone who you know doesn't have Stone Skin and you know wants to do an effect and you want them to weak hit, right? Then it's quite good. You know, if you wanted to, like, beat a Warlord. But even then, we're talking, like, one champion? Like, one champion is countering? I can't see it, you know? You're not going to be able to target a Heffrak. It's going to be in a Stone Skin. maybe a Taras, but the problem is it's probably paired with Marichka. Marichka will just cleanse it away. If not Marichka, Taras, Siphi. Not Siphi. Someone like Mithrala, Pythian. Right, there's so many cleansers in the arena meta. So easy to just like steal it away. I mean, you could use a Warlord here, but I'm trying to figure out ideas here, right? I'm trying to think, where could you possibly use this Enfeeble to great effect? I think they're gearing up either to release in China or they have done recently. I'll be right back, 1 second. Yeah, I think they just released in China. I mean, I definitely would say go for him because you never know when this kind of combination of skills is going to be needed. I'm just looking at it in terms of like, okay, I think they've kind of tried to say like this Enfeeble is really good for Arena, and I'm like, it's not. It's never going to work. Because one, I mean, you could even just sheep yourself because you're basically placing 5 debuffs. So there's like 5 opportunities for you to sheep yourself. 2, the Enfeeble itself is not protected. It can't ignore any sort of stone skin. It doesn't ignore immunity. So the chances are you're never going to place it to begin with. And even if you do place it, there's a good chance it's going to get removed. So that's not really helpful. The sleep effect doesn't really do anything. I mean, it's kind of good as a bomb champion, like a support bomb champion for increased accuracy, increased attack, right? Pretty good. It's like if you don't have the Yoshi, it's like a very good alternative to Yoshi because there's not many champions in the game that does accuracy with attack together. It's a bit weird they've done decreased accuracy with increased accuracy. I would have preferred decreased resistance with increased accuracy, a bit like that Supreme Kale setup. That for me feels a little bit better. This doesn't. Like, it's pretty good into Bommel maybe. This A2, the biggest problem with these conditional bait, this A2 kind of reminds me of Alt of the Shell, right? Alt of the Shell has an ability on the A2, and it's like, when you read it, it sounds really cool, right? You attack an enemy, if there's a debuff, you heal by 20%, you place a shield, and you can ignore, like, the damage increases. The problem is, if there's no debuff to remove, it just attacks an enemy. It doesn't do anything, and this is kind of a similar thing. If there's no debuffs to decrease, then this just becomes kind of an average shield on a 4-turn cooldown with an increased duration of all buffs. The 4-turn cooldown kills this ability. Fundamentally, the 4-turn cooldown is what kills this ability. Because you just can't use it in a lot of places. It's too big a cooldown. So yeah, so like if you can reduce duration, then it's pretty good. It's not bad, right? I mean, it can scale pretty hard, but the fact it's their max HP, not his max HP, means you can't build this panda tanky, and it's going to only like use your other allied champions. I also think is A1, there's a potential that he punishes himself when you don't want it, because he's going to attack the enemy. If the enemy's under 2 turns, then he's actually going to take 10% chance to place decreased speed away from him. It's like it's a bit like Roxam, yeah? You kind of want the single targeting clan boss, but because of the Veil effect, it puts it into AoE, it just halves the amount of damage you can deal. This is a similar situation. You're going to lose 10% just because you debuff a target in a single, it's pretty good in a multi-opponent situation. But against a single target opponent, that's not ideal. You don't want to lose opportunities to place debuffs just because there's more than 2 debuffs on the target. So, I don't know. It just depends, I suppose, on the fusion schedule, on how difficult it is. I will probably get him because I just think it's a unique champion. But I am, like, I'm sitting here and I'm looking, I don't understand how it works. You know, I don't understand how the sleep works, or how the sleep matters, or how the sleep does anything. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, and I'm not entirely sure how it got through QA in that form. Because sleep is like, everyone knows sleep is the worst debuff. Unless it does sleep exactly like Sand Devil, that is never going to be a passive that has any impact whatsoever in the game. So, sleep is also a nice anti-Siffy feature. That is true, cool. I didn't think of that. It will counter Siffy's A1. You'll get a turn. It means you can't ever sleep him. I mean, technically, he has immunity to sleep. Because essentially, every time he takes a turn, he removes sleep. So technically, he is immune to sleep. But then what do you do when you get your turn? You can enfeeble someone. Or you can, like, place a shield, right? I don't know. I do think it's one of those champions that you need to get in front of on your PC and actually, like, play around with it. Try different builds. Try and test it. Which is why I'm sitting there kind of going... from his basic skills, I don't get it. But when you play it, maybe there is something that comes out of it that makes it make sense, right? Maybe once you kind of get some feeling of how the interactions work, actually it's quite good in certain things. Maybe it's just one of those champions that's like very ultra counterable to a specific champion, right? It's very good into very specific situations, but average everywhere else. I don't know. Yeah, he's good. So like if you build him fast with the Kymar, the only thing is, here's the thing. He doesn't really like help the team because he doesn't like eat the sleep, right? He doesn't, I mean, maybe he can transfer Kymar's sleep when he's asleep, but you see what I mean? It's not like he comes in and then cleanses. It's not like a Jingwong. It's not like a Riho, right? Who basically gets a turn and then she can fully cleanse it and give you a turn, right? It's not like he's countering those champions. He himself just counters the champion, so he gets to take a turn. So what is he going to do? Enfeeble someone? You know, put some buffs out? You know, maybe put a bit of decreased speed? Like, his kit doesn't actually generate enough utility to counter those champions. So, I don't know. It's like... But, you know, as I said, I always recommend with fusions, if it's a unique skill set, don't skip it. Never skip unique champions. You can skip people like Jetney. Nobody really cares about Jetney, right? It's just basically a boring damage dealer. But you can't skip... I don't think it's a good idea to skip champions that do unique things, because I think you just run the risk of needing that champion for content in the future because it does something unique. So... Did you skip Loriaka? No, I did Loriaka. I pretty much do all the fusions on my main account because it's not really a problem. Test server Panda, I'm guessing they're going to give a test server because they've said it's a traditional fusion. So there'll be more champions available, right? Maybe the epics are quite good. We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. So... I would love another GNU. I'm on the fence about the 1+1 tomorrow, I'll be honest. I would love another GNU. I'm gonna lie, it would be good. Yeah, I did Marinix as well. I actually think Loriaka's a better champion than Panda. Loriaka gets a lot of hate, but Loriaka is very good at doing her job. I want to leave it another hour before I do that, just so I've got plenty of time in the morning. Cruel sets are being sold as mythical. I don't know if anyone saw this. We did wonder how long it would take for mythical sets to be sold. I guess they finally pulled the trigger on it. And as usual, we're still waiting for the Whisper Soul. It's actually killing me. I'm losing the will to live. Every single day I check the market and I get nothing. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. How is Hydra Clash looking? We were looking in a good position, but I guess we're not winning anymore because of this. Well, I guess we're not winning anymore. We were in the lead before this. 29 billion. Of that, this guy's contributed 15 billion. I have no words. It's just like stupid, isn't it? It's just so stupid. There's just no way to compete with that. Yeah, we did kind of somehow get every single Sin clan in the world. Like, what can you do to that? What can you do? Why bother? What is the point? But yeah, sure, everyone can keep telling me all the different issues there is with Hydra Clash, but, you know, this isn't the main problem. Is it not? The 15 billion guy isn't a problem. Yo, sure not. You should book Geo before Wrecked Wrath, yeah. Oh, I understand why you don't want to do Hydra. I get it. We were winning. We actually were talking about it because look, we've got our problem we've got right now because of the way that the mechanics work. Look how many people we can't join, right? Because we were moving people around in the clan because some people wanted a break from clan versus clan. Other people were willing to give it a bit more of an effort. We had some new members come in, so we moved people around. So it basically means that we lose 4 people immediately. Then we lose 2 people who made way because the 4 people came in. So actually, we only have 26 people who can actually participate. So we're already down to like 78 keys. And then this idiot comes along and just drops basically our entire clan's contribution in 1 key. Why can't they do something about this? Like, it's not hard, is it? They talk about lots of different things that the game has and how technical it is and all the different problems. This is not a technical issue. This is not a challenging issue. Literally cap the champion. It's getting to the point of stupidity. And the problem is, the longer they've left it go on, the worse it's actually going to be now. Because when they finally do nerf it, everyone who's now finally built the champion is going to complain. Had they done this like week 1, day 1, we wouldn't have had this problem. Because half the people wouldn't have built this team. But now you'll have all the people complaining that they've invested in all these champions and they wouldn't have done it, now they want a refund and all this nonsense, even though it's absolutely not true. It's just like, I'm actually going to send a screenshot to a certain friend that I have in official levels. It's just... Yeah, Vector Wrath is viable, fully partially booked. Geomancer is just such a strong champion, he's worth booking. If you haven't booked his A3, the rest of Geomancer's ability is not important. The A3 is important for Geomancer. So, I mean, you know, there's a good chance the clan can still come second, so we can get this chest. It's not the end of the world, but it's a bit depressing that we can't get this. And, you know, it's a bit silly, in my opinion. If we're not coming first, then you still shouldn't have to do 650 million for the less chest, right? If you think about it, if you come first, you only need to do 140 million for the same equivalent chest. I mean, it's so dumb. But yeah, I mean, come on, like... It's embarrassing. If I did this as a creator, I'd be embarrassed by this key. Because I look at it as like, everyone knows it's OP. And in my head, I'm just like, it's exploitive. I know it's not an exploit, and he isn't breaking any rules, he's not doing anything wrong, but I just look at it as like, it's not meant to be like this. The champion's not meant to do that. So why, you know, It's meant to do it in the sense it's meant to do damage based on shield, but when you design a champion, you don't intend for a rare champion to do 2 billion damage to your clan boss, right? So I can't build. I will never bring myself to build this team. I don't care how much pressure it's under. I'd rather leave the clan than do that, and nobody in my clan will actually require us to use it. You know, some people in the clan are building it. That's up to them. That's their own decision. I will never build it because I think it's anti-gameplay. I think it's disgusting. I don't think it's worth building. I just will never build it. So what? No, they basically came out, Yande, and said they were trying to find a solution that did not involve nerfing a champion, which is pretty fundamentally impossible to fix because whatever you do, you're going to nerf some champion, right? So unless you physically change the entire purpose and like ranking system of Hydra Clash, which is not based on damage, then you have to nerf the champion. It's the only solution. There is no other solution, right? You can't not nerf the champion, because if you don't nerf Cadaver, you're nerfing something else to stop the Cadaver doing what it needs to do. So therefore you're nerfing two things, right? Because you're nerfing the Cadaver as a result of trying to balance it off. So do you think one day we'll get a nuker fusion besides nuke? I feel like we've not had a good nuker in like ever. I mean, Rabbit's a pretty good nuker. We haven't had an out-and-out arena nuker in a while. Supreme Elhain, though, is close enough, I guess. So it's stupid, isn't it, Scum? And what you're going to get is what you're seeing right now. It's less than 36 hours before the end of Hydra Clash, and look how little key usage you've got. You basically got half the clan can't even be bothered. And that's what you're driving. You're driving people to just go, I can't be bothered anymore. I'm not interested anymore. And then as soon as it starts here, it then pivots over to, I can't be bothered to go for the fusion anymore because they won't fix this and I just don't care anymore. And then it pivots to, why am I even playing the game? And then it pivots to, I'm just going to quit now. I can't be bothered anymore. And the fact they can't see that this one game mode can cause a spiral that causes lots of people to quit because it creates an emotional sort of spiral in your brain that you go, why am I doing this to myself, is baffling. And the longer they leave it go, the worse it's going to get. And it's such a simple fix. I could fix it in 5 minutes. If they gave me access to the game code, I could literally fix the entirety of Hydra Clash in about 5 minutes. It's called maximum cap of damage to this A1. It's called find the Trender in the team and make sure that Trender's A2 cannot critically attack on the second attack. And you've all of a sudden made Hydra Clash so much more enjoyable, so much more competitive, because you've opened up the different teams now that you can't just run one team to win. It's like, I just don't understand it. It's so easy. I mean, mythical shards is part of it, cool. But what I'm saying is, it's the fact that they put the mythical fragment in the winning chest on top, right? It's they double down on it, is what I'm saying. It's a spiral. I'm not saying this one specific thing is the result of all of it. I'm saying it starts a spiral, then everything else comes on board, and then you start going, why am I bothering? Yes, David, I could. It's really freaking easy. It's so easy to monetize this game. I don't like. They actually go out of their way to make the game less profitable. That's how amazing they are right now. They're actually making the game less desirable. By not having proper champion balance, you're basically making it so that why should I ever pull shards unless one of 3 champions are available, right? Because why would I ever pull a void shard unless Taras is available if all I care about is arena? Because it's a waste of my time. I'm only going to do it when there's Taras times 10 and then I'm going to go on that event. Otherwise, it's just no point. So therefore, you've lost all of that spending on other champions because the other champions are not viable. Same thing with any Hydra Clash team. Why would I bother going in and getting a Grisor or a Sulfurion? Well, I don't need them because I've got the Cadaver team. I'll just build 3 more of these. Right? I mean, that's the problem with champion balance. If something is so incredibly OP, you actually reduce your income because people will look at it and go, unless I can get that one particular champion, all the other champions are not worth it. There's no point in me spending money in anywhere else in the game. It's just not worth it. So it's not that hard, you know? I mean, it's so easy to monetize this game because it's got a lot of depth to it. The problem is they've reduced the depth. By basically putting loads of pay-to-win mechanics and loads of power creep mechanics, they've reduced the diversity of the game, which in turn has reduced the quality of the game, which in turn has reduced the players' motivation to spend on the game. I do have 3 Hydra Keys to do tonight, yeah. I know, it's frustrating, Acrobat. This is the worst one I've seen so far, right? Because we were talking about it earlier in the clan. We were thinking, oh, well, we've got a lot of people out. Maybe we should, you know, take this one easy. But then we got to today and we were like, well, actually, maybe we can win it. And we were. Because if you take this one key out, we're winning. But because that one key exists, we're now losing by such a margin that we won't even come close to winning. That's kind of like frustration, you know? It's the most frustrating part I've seen. Most frustrating Hydra Clash I've experienced so far. So, you know, we might as well carry on. All right, we want to open with a lot first. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to basically get my 800, my 650 mil. That's my goal. I'm just going to get 650 mil. Because I still want the top chest, right? I mean, I know people are saying, oh, Primal Quartz. I'm actually not after the Primal Quartz. I'm after the accessories. Because I would like good accessories, you know? I'd like the... What are we going to get rid of here? I think we just get rid of the... Do you know what? We'll probably just get rid of this head first. Oh, I should probably get rid of the Wrath head, actually, but, you know, never mind. Because I actually am trying to get Emic accessories, right? I'm trying to get Sylvan Watcher's accessories specifically because I want the triple protection for Emic. So that's kind of like what I'm after. I don't really care about the Primal Quartz. It's such a small amount. It takes you a month to get a single one. So far, I've had 2 sets of 30. So... Any reasonable substitute for Necmo? Champions that have a lot of turn meter control, basically. Carter, I mean, Deacon is kind of like it, not so great. Morrigan is not a bad substitute because you get that increased speed, decreased speed with it at the same time. People like Lysandra is okay, but it is, as with many OP champions, there isn't really a substitute, right? He's so good, there isn't much of a substitute here. Yeah, Winsty, I think a lot of people feel like that. That people are finally getting their heads around enjoying the Hydra. And now, because of Hydra Clash, they've made it such a grind. Oh, everyone got provoked there. Oh, this is going to hurt. Somehow, we put ourselves in an awkward situation there. Don't really know how. Should be fine. I hope. He's got to increase attack. It's not great, I'll be honest. It's not great that he's got to increase attack right now. We'll find out. Urgo's weak affinity, this one, so that's why they were having problems. We need to provoke. Let's just heal up, make sure we're full health. I think we're alright. Stupid question. I'm assuming if in the War Crusher clan boss team you have to fully book War Master. Yeah, I think so. I think you do. Alright, strengthen, that should help. I'm waiting for this big cannon of a nuke to come out. Not worried about this right now. We'll block in a second. Can the Wrath Head take a turn, please? Come on, Wrath Head. Take a turn. Oh my god, it will never take a turn, will it? Wrath Head. Wrath Head. Ah, for the love of all that is real in the world. Wrathhead, like, come on, take a turn. I deliberately delayed my block buffs to try and get rid of his stupid reflect and block debuffs. There we go. Now I can do it. Honestly. It's fine for one more turn. Do you think Big and Ray would be good in a curse set for Hydra? Yeah. Anyone who's got lots of consistent AoEs, he would keep weak hitting that. We're going to need to get rid of this Wrathhead. Keep weak hitting it, it's really bad. Not the best run so far. We need to wait for a cleanse there. Can we stop killing this dude? Seriously. Provoke out. Nice. Yeah, I mean, Ugo is not great with the Wrathhead. It's taking me a while to get a head down here, but we will get it down eventually. Can we not proc all these different things? Seriously. It's going to proc again, I think. One more turn. I wasn't originally very keen on Sulfurion. I didn't think he was void worthy, but I've seen a lot of people getting a lot of good success with him, so I'm warming to Sulfurion. I think it's better than I thought. Is it better to get bottom chest for both normal hard or top chest for normal? Good question. I'd have to check. We're going to take a hit here. There's nothing we can do. It's alright. We can probably survive that hit. Heal up. Block buffs. Oh, I can't. Actually, yes, I can. I'm going to reset it. I'm going to do this on purpose. I wanted to do that on purpose because it resets his consumption counter. I know it's kind of a waste, but it's a good idea to do that. Just because it gives me a whole rotation now, I don't have to get Gnut out of a head. This run is not going very well so far. We just not have had much good purchase with the A3. Normally would have killed a head by now. Yeah, a lot of people are having good success with him. I just thought he was a little bit underwhelming. It's one of those champions sometimes where you read the kit and you go, oh, it's all right. There's nothing special about it. And then the champion gets put into play and then they kind of do a lot more than you imagine. It's just one of those situations, I think, where after I've seen people start playing with it and start putting him to different difficulties, he is quite good. I still am a bit torn if I think he's Void Legendary worthy, I think that is a bit of an issue. Because when they release a Void Legendary champion, it means that essentially it reduces your chances of getting champions like Warlord and, Shuzhen and Yumiko and Sify, and that's a bit of a concern for me because those are the champions that I really need, not another HP burner. And I think that's my reaction to it, Right, well. Good news is we're about to kill some heads. It's taken us a long time to get here, but we're here now. And Ugo is still weak hitting this Wrathhead, like, seriously. Drop this. Reset. Why didn't the cooldown of that reset? Not annoying. It should reset the turn meter of the head. It didn't. That's why I did that. Because I wanted to reset the turn meter of the head. But never mind. Get some decreased speed out on these. Can we get this? There, we finally landed one. Job, Ugo. I'm going to wait one turn because I want Hex out. Oh, I've got... it's so frustrating. I need to put Hex in this team somehow. I need to put a curse set in this team. Not having Hex up here is pretty disastrous. I can get back round to her, thankfully. But, you know, I don't know whether I'm going to get back round to Nuke before it ends. That's what I wanted to happen. Because now we get some good damage spread. It's important to have the Hex out. With that heal reduction. Let's just take out the Wrath Head. Boof, boof, boof. See, 100k, it's really, really big. Very important if you're using Gnut in Hydra that you get these, that you have the Hex out. It's very important for your damage output. If you don't have the Hex, you will find that you do a lot less damage. It doesn't have the luxury of being AoE. The benefits of not being AoE means you can build it much easier. The penalty of that means you don't get as much damage. Oh, it's a shame we couldn't. See, if we had had Hex one more time, we would have got another Hex knockout here. It's a shame. So we get Suffering. It's okay. We do need to provoke. Now this is a tricky thing always because you're transitioning between two phases. That's fine. It's worth putting that out. We weak hit on the Torment head, but it's fine. We can smash this head now and we can still get some AoE damage out here. See, 114. It's very big. Yeah, I agree, Donovan. I think it's almost essential. All right, we're picking up a little bit now. What is the last head? Okay, Blight. Please don't... Still weak hit the Torment head, but it's actually not a problem, that one. That one is fine because the longer it stays alive, the better, if anything else. Is it better to use a gear set or Akimtum? Akimtum is quite good. The only thing that Akimtum has is a similar problem to Mithrala, where he likes to poison a lot. So if you've got to provoke this head and you're having too many poisons go out, that can cause you a problem. So a lot of the time, you kind of need to keep that in mind, that you don't necessarily want to be in a situation where you can't you can't provoke the head, right, because you've done too many debuffs. So Akimtum is a bit of a problem. There is no problem having a specific Hex champion. Like Mithrala here works okay because I can somehow guide the poisons. She's not going to spread those poisons. It's not a problem. Ruel is a great option if you can keep him alive. Marinix, you know, Thylesia. I think actually majority of the time having a bit of both. I think actually having one person in Hex and one person with Hex is a good idea. Because I think the value you get is actually quite high. You want to have cursed, you want to have Hex out pretty much all the time. The more you can have Hex out, the more AoE damage you deal. It's very good. You know, it's a very, like, you still there. I did 150,000 to every single head because I had Hex. So the longer you can keep Hex out, the better, really. So I definitely recommend, like, potentially bringing someone in the set and someone dedicated to the job. His Cleopteric's good. She suffers the same problem as Ruel. She's good if you can keep her alive. But can you keep her alive? Akimtum is really good. Akimtum is incredibly good. The reason why Akimtum specifically is very good is the passive actually isn't poison damage. It gets translated into direct damage. So what ends up happening is you run him in stun set, as an example. If you were doing him for wave clear content, you'd run him in stun set, you'd put Harvest Despair on him so that you get the leech activate. When the passive activates, because it's direct damage and not a poison, you can actually activate stun sets when the passive activates on enemies. And then when you stun them, you put leech on them, which then heals them because it's direct damage, it's not poison, which means every time the passive activates, you're dealing direct damage with War Master, you're dealing normal direct damage, and you're healing off all of that. And it makes him an incredibly strong wave clear champion because essentially he just like perma-stuns everything to death. Had I got Skinwalkers in the faction games, he would 100% been in my teams because I would have just been able to clear all the wave content. He's such a strong champion. He's so strong. Hey, Greta. No, I still think Necmo in Relentless is just the way to go. You get so many extra turns, you Alex. And what you want Necmo to do is to take turns. The more turns he takes, the more you can rotate your abilities. The more you can rotate your abilities, the more GNU A3s you can do. The more, you know, that's just the value of Relentless, in my opinion. Like here, for example, I could just go and smash this. It'll probably eventually kill a head. Might as well do that. Just kill his head off. Get rid of these poisons. Like here now, I can take an extra turn. Is it? Oh no, it's just, yeah, I can take an extra turn. So it just gives me more uptime of everything. It's a shame we haven't got back around to the A3 yet. Yeah, Relentless is hard to farm. Like, you get a lot of Relentless early on in the game because the tournaments you're up against, you can normally win. But once you start getting to like level 60, the tournaments become a lot harder. So... yeah, exactly, Bob. The passive is so good with stun set. Especially if you get the Harvest Despair blessing, mastery, right? Because you essentially give yourself a healing output then. You don't need to be in lifesteal. Which is always the big challenge is, can I... the big challenge is, can I obviously get healing on him? If you have to run stun set, you don't have healing. You need some sort of healing there. That's what the Harvest Despair mastery gives you. Right, we're setting up an A3 on the Suffering Head here. I should have attacked that head on the left. This is going to be big. Oh god, we've got to wait for Crossbow Shamael. Do you ever do a video with the 5-star Neri Ninja? I am waiting for my 5-star Neri Almir. I don't have one, but I think it's Biohack. I want to say Biohack is the one that did the video on it. So if you go, you will find it. If you Google it, you'll find it. My Shamael here is built full damage. I think I've put boof, boof, look at that. 450,000 damage. Oh, and I nearly executed it. Oh. I think my Shamael now actually has damage gear, which I think I may have had him at 95% crit rate last time. There you go, look. 600,000 damage from Shamael. I probably should have saved that. In hindsight, that should have been a save. Never mind. I think Shamael is... I can't remember what I built him in. I may have built him in lethal because I didn't think I had enough buffs. And I probably need to rebuild him now. But he shouldn't really be in lethal. I have 2 built, but I don't use them enough. I do use one in Spider. He's in my Spider 10 hard team. Okay, first consumption. Want to try and... oh, of course he's eating the shit. I need to wait one more turn. And just tank out a few fears here. I don't mind doing that. It's fine. We need to wait one more turn, and then hopefully the newt is going to... yeah, it's fine. Let's just heal that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Give me my Shamael. There we go. This is what GNU is so good for. Just like instantly clearing out a head. I still wonder why you're manning this team. It should be... it does not do anywhere near 150 million. Don't be silly. This team falls apart if I auto it. War Master on crit damage for... I always go War Master. I just feel like War Master is going to be... what you got to work out is, will the 20% crit damage result in more damage than about 70k or whatever it is? I can't recall exactly what it is. What are you doing, cat? That's why I'm tempted by another newt, right? Imagine we have 2 newts going here. It'd be insane. I don't do corpulent teams. It's a dirty word. Hi Zaf, I have a Hydra team. Deliana, Riho, Artak, Geomancer, Wukong, Bivold, and Bivold Erector. But should I change someone for Clipterix? I do think having Artak and Geomancer together is a bad idea. Because you're replacing Geomancer's burn. And if you're replacing his burn, you're not getting his passive output. So I do think that's a bad decision. Personally. So if that's the case, I would consider maybe taking Artak out and bringing in someone with decreased attack and a hex set. Oh damn, Knut just took the thing again. That's annoying. Would you put both Knuts on the same team and create another Knut team? I would probably... I mean, for Hydra here, I don't know if you could actually support both. Oh, it's weak affinity, but it should be fine. Oh, look at that. Look at that damage. It's beautiful. 35, 2 million damage. The only reason why I think 2 here is a bit tricky is because you are indexing extremely hard into one way of playing the game, which could be a problem. But it's not to say that it couldn't work. I just think that is risky. You know, Shamael is basically providing us a torment solution here, which is a big deal. It makes it a lot safer. But if you had 2 Knuts, you could basically just like one-shot everything. It'd be really strong. Yeah, if you can reset him. I actually think Emic is a good thing. I've seen Emic built with him. It does really, really well. It's all about getting back around to his A3. If you can keep cycling his A3, it does a lot of work. You know? Well, if you remove Artak, you just need to make sure you've got decreased attack out. I don't know if you have an AoE decreased attack that can replace Artak. All I'm saying is you're probably using Artak for burns, which if that's the case, you're replacing your Geomancer burn, which means you're reducing Geomancer's value considerably. So either Geomancer drops and you bring in a different damage dealer, or Artak drops and you bring a decreased attack champion in. Let's go smash you for some damage. I probably should have hexed before I did that. Never mind. Oh, boy. Wrathhead again is a problem. It's fine. Keep attacking the Deadhead. Get some extra damage. We're going to get, like... We're in Wrath territory for trouble at the moment. Just because Ugo is continuously weak hitting. There we go. Thank you, Ugo. For being useful for once. Yeah, they are apparently fixing some sort of animation issue with Shamael's crossbow. I didn't even realize they nerfed it. Last week I was actually running on times 60 FPS, so I was running a lot slower last time. Oh, nice. Let's just run some damage into you. That's the smash. That's fine. We can revive him. Just heal everyone up to make sure that's not a problem. I kind of want to kill you. We are going to be approaching a difficult situation in a moment because Canute is about to be eaten. So we've got to be careful. I'm taking a bit of damage. It's really frustrating at the moment. Like, this heal reduction is kind of annoying a little bit at times. Should be alright though, because we'll be able to get a cleanse off in a minute. We need to save that because we're going to need it for when Canute gets eaten in a minute. Honestly, Ugo is such a bad affinity for this rotation. Okay, not great because essentially, in order to kill the head, I have to... He's going to die. He's going to die before I can do anything because I can't get him healed. It's a stupid heal reduction. Man. Why am I taking so much damage here? 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 Why am I taking so much damage here Now I got Reflect. This is getting worse by the minute. Because of weak hitting Ugo. This is what all this is down to. Ugo keeps weak hitting, which is causing all of these problems. Because now I can't actually... I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get him out because of the Reflect bonus. He's just going to... Oh, at least we can do that while he's still got block damage up, so we can chunk away. But this is going to be difficult. This is going to take a while to get this champion out because of the stupidity of Ugo. You can see, I can't get him healed because every time I get him close, he keeps taking heal reduction. And he keeps attacking, so now he's going to proc his stupid thing again, and it's going to kill him again. This is the scary part about this team. Because Gnut is a big proportion of the damage, we are in this territory now where essentially I need to keep hitting it. Thank the Lord. That was risky. Right, well, we're in a better situation now. The goal is kill the Wrathhead because clearly that is causing a big problem for this team. Right, let's get some stability back in this team. Kill off this head. Right. Smash this for some damage. Probably should have waited before I did that, but never mind. I was annoyed. I was angry. Right, the good news is we finally have a rotation that paid dividends. In the sense that we've now got healing up, we've got block buffs up, everything is good to go. Oh, that was awful. Provokes. I thought that putting Artak and Geo in the same team is fine because it will only replace the Geo burn if it's one turn. It would be not Reflect. I mean, if you can set it up properly, yes. Look how fast we got back around to this A3. It's so good. If you can set up Artak so he doesn't replace the Geo burn, that's absolutely fine. I'm just saying that there is a risk that you could replace the Geomancer burn with Artak and then you're in trouble, right? Because you're basically reducing the effectiveness of two champions. Or one champion, I should say. Because Geomancer requires his burn to be up. And you want careful control because you don't want to be killing the wrong head at the wrong time, you know? Now, if we're quick, we don't have it. It's a shame. If we had another A3, we could have killed the head of Mischief and reset the cooldown. But it'll be alright. We'll just get some extra damage out on this head. Damage there. Oh, I should have saved that for Ugo. It's fine, actually. Who is going to eat the Ugo today? This is a nasty situation because the poison cloud spawns just as Ugo is about to get eaten. So we are in a little bit of a sketchy situation here. Thankfully, I have pretty much everything ready to go. Otherwise, this could be really problematic, right? If I didn't have Knut's A3 right straight away, we'd be in trouble. Because block buffs isn't on some of these heads. We're alright for now, so we should be fine. I can get it straight back out. Can we kill this head? That'd be nice. Don't think we're gonna have time. No. Okay, so we're gonna get 2 poison clouds out. Annoyingly on a head that's just about to die. I will say that's a bit annoying. But this could be a worse situation. We might as well keep whacking this head a bit now. Hex will eventually kill this head on the left, even though it's got Poison Cloud, because Hex is not, you know, susceptible to Poison Cloud. So as long as we keep hitting this head for good damage, it will eventually kill him. And when it dies, it will reset the turn meter. Now it needs to die very quickly, because it needs to die very quickly. Oh god, here we go, crossbow time. I don't use Gnut's A2 at all. I have him in Reflex, so I don't ever want Gnut reducing his A2. I'd want him always reducing his A3. I think we do that just to be safe. We didn't land the block buffs on this head over here, which is really quite frustrating. I think we've got a GNU A3, though. No, we don't. That's frustrating. Come on, kill the head of... There we go. That's what I wanted to happen. Got rid of that. Excellent. Boost. Get some healing out. Let's do that to get rid of some poisons. Might as well keep hitting this. Now, ideally, I get back to GNU before this comes off. I do. Nice. Now we can smash this head. We should have waited for Hex, but I just wanted to get rid of that suffering head as well. Let's just hit this head for some damage. What we'll get for a 3x Ice Golem set. They like to do Retribution, don't they? Or Retaliation, whatever it is. They like to do that one. Sometimes they do Reflex as well. We haven't had a Reflex in a while, so it could be Reflex. Get sort of Poison Cloud. Well, Trunder will do more damage on lower difficulties if you have the setup. Gnut can go into more teams without requiring the setup. It comes down to. Who's next up to be eaten? Oh, well, this could be difficult. Gotta be very careful here. Morley is the next eaten. What we do not want to happen is we really don't want Morley to be eaten if the Provoke head comes up. So we could be in a bit of a spot of bother depending on what we get. And it is the Provoke head. Alright, so we've got to be very careful here. We are in a bit of a, you know, basically got to be very efficient with the way we get Morley out. Might as well smash this head. I don't get it, Swiftcut. It's meant to reduce the turn meter. Now, obviously, if it's probably coded as max turn meter, so it's probably coded to do like a hard-coded quantity. Just going to save that a turn. So, like, instead of it doing 100% of the current turn meter, it's probably doing 100% of the turn meter, which is 1,000 units. So, if, for example, you've dragged the division of the speed to the ticks of the boss to a point where he's got like 1.8 turn meter, then it's only going to reduce like 20% visually because it's reduced 100, but it's reduced 100 of 180, right? So if it's based on the current max turn meter, then that's what's likely has happened. 5 turns, okay. Just keep dumping poisons on me, I really appreciate it. Well, Gnut can get round to it. Depends on what his cooldown is. If his cooldown is off now, we can do it. But it is risky. Like, we could do this right now. But it is very risky. But I'm likely going to get back round to it in time, so it's absolutely okay to do it. I'd rather the extra damage I'm going to get. That's going to do, like, you know, 2 million damage here. This one is fine because it's a 3-turn cooldown. I'm going to get back round to them before this chick gets eaten, because 2 of the heads are still dead. So that's going to take a while for them to clear out. So I've got, you know, I got a turn or 2, so it should be fine. If this is that's even better. I actually refreshed it, so I can just go again and actually try and kill this head even. Okay, this is really ideal, actually, because it's the slowest head, and it's the one that's going to give me fears, so I can boost background to my abilities. So it's actually really, really good. This is an ideal setup. There's no Wrath head, so the damage output that we're going to get is lower. Get that out. Nice. Ugo, doing a job, finally. Do we need to provoke? No. Should be fine. Are you going for the Mythical Tournament Championship? I am not doing any of the champion training because I expected there to be a fusion, and I was like, I have no champions. I do have actually a few champions I want to train, but I just felt like I didn't have it in me to do a champion training now and then a champion training for the fusion. So I just decided to skip it all. How many turns we got? 2 turns. Should be all right. Boost. Drop the turn meter. Provoke. Yeah, we're good. We're going to get it back in time. But it's risky, right? So, to be fair, I can probably just kill the head, which is probably the safest bet. Right? If I keep this up, the head will die very quickly. Right, we've got to save that just in case. Yeah, if Decay eats her, it's even more optimal. We'll find out now. Oh, this is the tense bit. This is the transition bit now, which is scary. Hey, Mythical Cal. Let's just do that to make sure everyone's tanky enough. Oh, didn't eat it. Okay, this is interesting. So 0 turns. I could just kill the head. I'm pretty sure Gnut can one-shot the head. Because she hasn't got a provoke back now. So... Oh, because it's 2 turns. I'm going to kill the head. Because I got Shamael's A2. It might prove to be a mistake. We'll find out. It's a risk. It's a risk, basically. Right, that's good. We needed a turn meter boost. We're chipping away at it. Whoa, it's close. Let me just smack it. Come on. There we go. There we go. Whew. That was the worst. That was the dangerous transition. Like, I don't want to do that again. Oh. Okay, so that's probably bought us another 10 million damage, I'll be honest. That's how important that was. Oh. And the thing is, every million damage I do on Nightmare is 4 million less I need on other keys, right? So it's kind of important to get as much that I can maximized on this one head, on this one difficulty, because the more I do here, the less I have to do everywhere else, which is, you know, quite a big deal. Because my brutal team is not very high damage at the moment. Nice pumping damage here. There we go. 68 million goes to 70 million. Nice. Probably should have attacked that head on the left there. Is it going to be a ×2 ancient shards? I think it's next weekend. I'm pretty sure. Isn't it? It's next weekend? Why don't you use the Gnut's A2 when there's no mischief out? Because I have him in Reflex. So I don't want him to... I don't want him to reflex the A2. I only want him to reflex the A3. This team would benefit from having some sort of weaken in it. I haven't really, you know, put much thought into who that could be. It used to be I used to run Cantra in the provoke, right? Which meant that would be my weaken because she has it in her A2. So I'm not using his A2 because I have him in reflex and I specifically want him to always reflex the A3. I feel like the uptime of A3 is more valuable than having weaken out. Do I use Geo? I don't use him anymore, no. What about a reset champion? If I was to use anyone, it'd be Emic, but I don't have I don't have many reset champions. Oh, we can go again. Nice. Boof, boof, boof. See, that's why it's good to have Reflex. I was able to basically get 2 A3s in the time it took that head to respawn, which is basically 1,000,000 damage. Because it's 450,000 twice. I wouldn't have got the second in if I didn't have Reflex on his build, and if I was using the A2, so it's just better for that purpose, I think. How many times have you discussed why you don't use the A2? Probably more times than I can imagine. But, you know, every stream we get new people in, so it's a valid question, because a lot of people will be like, why aren't you using this A2? It gives you counterattack, it gives you weaken. I can understand why people ask it, so I don't mind answering it again. Yeah, I mean, I could put him in Relentless, but I don't want him in Relentless for Fire Knight, Almir, you know? So I'm not using him. I'm using him in lots of places. I don't actually want him in Relentless for my Spider team, because it slows down the runs. So I'd rather the consistency of Reflex than the A2. So it's a decision, you know? They're all decisions that you make when you build your champions. And once you indexed into that decision, you have to maximize it, right? Now that I've done that, I can't just use the A2. I have to maximize my decision. Well, that's annoying. Oh, are we going to get another A3? Oh, that provokes annoying. I can't cleanse it either. Ah, that provoke is annoying. I don't think he had it available anyway, so it's not a problem. He does now, though. Would you use Panda for Hydra? I personally would not use him for Hydra. I actually think Strategos Islin is a better champion for Hydra than Panda. Shock horror. Yeah, I'm basically waiting until tomorrow so that I can book Razzlevarg. Once I can book Razzlevarg, I can actually try Fire Knight 10. But I just haven't done it because I'm waiting on the books, you know, and I just got to the point where I was like, there's not much point in me using it. I really should have saved that, but it's just too good to use right now. Oh, that dude is... probably shouldn't have used that in hindsight. I should probably have waited. Oof. My Fire Knight 10 team is Razzlevarg, Yakal, Lurius, Farrak in the Fat, and Gnut. Yeah, you never not need books in this. That's why that was a mistake, because I don't have the provoke available. Okay. And that's not great. It's fine, we can just kill him. Provoke. I stole my buff. I think we're going to get a cleanse out. It's actually not a problem if we get a cleanse right now, because we got most of the heads dead, so that's okay. Oh, we do have it available. Nice. Nice. We have to wait on Gnut's next A3 because Shamel's about to be eaten, so... Wow, he has stolen so many of those things. Even though she has enough resistance, he keeps stealing her buffs. It's crazy. She's got plenty of resistance. Might as well save that right now. Normally I'd have A3'd, but we're saving it because Shamel's about to be eaten. So... And I guarantee you, the next head coming out of this is going to be a torment head because Shamel's about to be eaten. I'm almost certain of it. I could tell you with like 95% guarantee that the torment head's going to come out here. We ready for it? It's like, I knew it was going to happen. It's like the game wants you to fail. Fortunately, we were ready for it. But it was just like, I knew that was going to happen. The moment I saw it. Like, you just know it's going to happen. It's like it's trying to mess you up. Oh, this is going to be a high damage. Believe it or not, the Torment head actually has some of the highest multipliers. So this setup here is probably the highest damage output, except dropping the Mischief head for the Poison head. If we actually had the Poison head here out as well, then this would be like a pretty egregious amount of damage we'd have to take. As it is, we're going to have to like try and RNG the block buffs on the Wrath head again, which is always a fun game. How would you use Emic and Hydra? I'd use him in like a... I kind of want to get rid of this head. Probably use him as like a healer-y type. Very fast. Building with lots of ability to reflex. Reset the on the A2 so we can get back around to reducing everyone's cooldowns. I think someone in chat has used him. Has used him in Hydra. So maybe you can ask them. There we go. Now we gotta fight this stupid thing. Yep. Let's just activate all of the blimming Wrath head all at the same time. Yeah, randomly attack it as well. Yeah, this could be painful. This is gonna hurt. This is going to hurt right now. And there's nothing I can do about it. Absolutely nothing I can do. Oh, big hit. Okay, we're all right as long as we can heal back up quickly. We might as well do that just to keep ourselves alive. Strengthen, because we're about to take a battering. Stop stealing my debuffs. We might as well wait one more turn on that. I kind of want to attack him, so I'm going to wait one more turn. Just waiting for the Wrath head to take a turn. Come on, Wrath head. Take a turn, Wrath head. Let it out. Give us your best roar. Oh, Wrath head, come on. Wrath head. And this is taking such a while. It's like... really need to use the A2. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. Why that was a disaster, because I knew that was going to happen. Luckily, we can get him straight up. So we can get this cleared away. Right, okay. I just want to get rid of this guy. He's such a nightmare. Does so much damage. Right, don't let me down. Oh, for God's sake, Ugo. I shouldn't have done that because I should have saved my A3 because Mithrala's about to get eaten. So now we're going to have to cycle really fast to get back around to it. And I also need decreased attack out on him like yesterday. Luckily, if we're fortunate, we shouldn't get another attack with the increased attack on. Like, that should not happen, hopefully. With a bit of luck. And there's decreased attack out, nice. Let's just heal everyone up. Let's get that out. 2 turns before Mithrala gets eaten. We need to cycle back around to Gnut's A3. So this is all about, like, can we get back around to Gnut's A3 before Mithrala gets eaten? It's 2 turns. And it's 1 turn. It's not looking great. We really need a Reflex proc. This is where Reflex needs to come clutch for us right now with the Newt. He needs to Reflex at the start of his turn. I don't think he will, though, because, you know, it's on the worst head possible as well. Luckily, the Hex is still up. Otherwise, that could have been a disaster. Oh, thank the Lord. That's why we like Reflex. What a clutch moment that Reflex came out with. Absolutely huge. Might as well hit that. See if we can kill it off. That is why we like Reflex. Don't proc him. Well, it's a bit of a problem. Probably shouldn't have A3'd there, in hindsight. It's got leech, you've got leech. Heal up. We gotta revive. It's not the end of the world. We just need to get through this really awkward phase. Gonna provoke out. Nice. Be nice if we can reset this guy's cooldown a bit. Make sure that's out. Heal up. Revive. Nice. And then I can't really do my A3 right now because the Reflex buff, so let's just hit this. Oh, it'd be nice if Soul Reap did its job, right? Cleanse the fear away. Okay, it was a good recovery. Okay. There we go. Ah, oh, she's so frustrating at times, isn't she? So frustrating. I mean, we're approaching 100 mil. It's looking good. Get rid of this Wrath head. Yeah, she's working well now. I think actually, as I said, last time when we had the really rough stream with her, I think the biggest issue was the Wuji rather than her herself. I think she was basically taking the mischief procs. So she was Wuji was taking the mischief attacks, which meant I wasn't getting as much turn meter boosting, which meant I couldn't get back around to the provoke. And we were generally in a terrible mood that day, so. What set do you have Ugo in, and would Affinity Breaker maybe be worth it in this rotation? Affinity Breaker's bad. You should just go faster, George. If you just put 2 speed sets on, you'll get the same amount of success as if you just had instead of Affinity Breaker. So just go faster. It's essentially the way you beat affinity issues. Add more speed. I think she's just built for like in really weird sets in speed and stuff and just designed to go super fast. If I already have Yoshi, yeah, I think he's worth it because it's the only champion in the game that can do Enfeeble. But is he worth it in the sense that you should do it for... I should not have used that. Well, actually, it's fine. It's 7 turns. So when I say, is it worth it? I mean, it's a rare, unique champion, right? No other champion can do what this champion does. So in that sense, you should do it. But the champion's not exactly insane enough that you would go, I'm going to drop everything to do it, right? It's not a Pythian, it's not an Uko, it's not a Gnut. But it's a good champion. This is actually a terrible setup now because all the heads are dead. Believe it or not, we don't want this situation because we have less control. So we've got one head coming up. Normally I'd instantly block buffs, but because we got both heads down, that would be quite bad. So right now, I'm going to save the block buffs because I'm going to try and wait for this one turn to come out and go after that. It's a panda, how can you not fuse him? Well, there's no fusion involved in the sense that, well, I suppose it is. There's no fragment involved, put it like that. We might as well hit this head for some DPS. About to hit 100 million. I think this is the first time this particular team has hit 100 million. I can't wait any longer. So let's just do that. Is a panda account changing? No. It's not on the level of Gnut, right? That champion is nowhere near the power of it. It's a good champion. It's very good buffs. It's just, I think the 4-turn cooldowns kind of kill the champion. That's kind of the problem. It just takes so long to get back around to his abilities that you're going to find you're probably not going to have much uptime on it, you know? It's the Duchess problem in my book. It's the same problem that Duchess has. It's a 4-turn cooldown on that Veil. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to be going, why am I taking fears? Oh, it's because I have... Nice. See, it didn't really set the turn meter there either. You know, you'll probably be taking fears because it's a 4-turn cooldown, not a 3-turn cooldown. That is a big difference. It just means everything is that much harder to keep going, keep up, you know, as a buff. So Duchess needs a buff. I mean, she's falling out of meta a little bit. If you look at the arena meta now, it's not Duchess anymore. Like the top arena meta. You know, it's Marichka, Sify, Taras. Those are the champions that are really strong. Yeah, but then you're having to, that's the thing, right? You're having to bring another champion that reduces it. There's actually not that many Boom Skillet. If you think about it, there's not that many. There's Painkeeper, there's Kaima, there's Countess Lix, there's Emic, and there's Renegade. That is it. Right then, Ugo. You succeeded, well done. There's actually not that many. There is champions that can increase the duration of buffs. Yes, that's much more prominent. But there is not that many champions that actually can reduce the cooldown of an ability on your team. Boof, boof, boof. 100 million! Woohoo! This is going to make every other key so much easier. Yeah, there's more recently than there has ever been, but there's still not that many that you can actually fit into a team. Like, it's still very much dependent on Kaima or Yumiko. I forgot about Yumiko, sorry. I forgot about Yumiko. How could I forget about Yumiko, right? So stupid. We're gonna take a whack, but look at how much difference to damage this is going to be. Now that we don't have the buffs. How much better that is. So much easier to manage now that he hasn't got increased attack up all the time and he hasn't got his stupid reflect effects and all that kind of stuff. The run is probably going to come to an end soon because Gnut's about to be eaten, and that is probably going to be the point where we can't carry on because we don't have enough damage in the Shamael to get Gnut out in one go, especially if the Suffering Head is the one that eats it. Because it's just so much HP that I need to build. Right, I need to hit 400,000. He won't hit 400,000 on his own. Oh god, here we go. What amount of points you get for Primal Shards on a Summoner Rush? I think it's 100 and... was it 200? 200 points? We kind of have to wait a bit because we do kind of have a lot of... we need to wait for these buffs to fall off, right? This one to fall off. When that falls off, we'll do the A3. We'll get it to him before then, so it's fine. Oof. We'll probably get that back in time, so let's go smack you for some damage. See, it just doesn't do enough damage. I know we didn't have increased attack and he had decreased attack on, so that's probably not a very fair assessment, but... that's annoying. We are approaching, I think, where this is going to start struggling. I don't think I'm going to be able to get Gnut out, to be honest. Yeah, that's true. If I get a turn, I will. I'm going to use his A3 first, though, because his A3 is way better than weaken, right? Yes. I don't think there's much left anyway, because the consumption time is down to 2 now. You know, we're nearly 60 minutes in. It's quite deep. I'm just going to do this because there's a lot of damage. Look how much damage this is going to be. 105. It'll also help a little bit because it weakens this defense for everyone else in the team. So if this suffering head is the one that eats him, it'll help a lot. Who is it going to be? I think it's going to be suffering. Could be the toxic head though. We might as well do this now. If this is the toxic head, I'm so annoyed by that. That it eats it. I think it might be the toxic head that's going to eat him. If so, there's no weaken. Let's find out. Yeah. I appreciate whoever said that was a great strategy to put weaken out. Unfortunately, Gnut weak hit. So, plan fails. And we've also got to increase... Can we please have Mithrala? Please have Mithrala cleanse. I really need Mithrala's cleanse here. I'm going to have to wait one more turn. I had to wait one more turn because he had decreased attack out. Which meant that I wouldn't have got maximum damage. So I had to wait one more turn. I haven't got to increase attack here, but I think it's fine with... Oh, for God's sake. Should be fine. With incidental damage. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. There we go. All right, well, we can keep going for a bit, I guess. So can you talk more about Fate? It's going to be like Raid. I mean, we're so early in the development cycle right now. I can't really say anything. Not legally, there's just not a lot to say. You know, we're in the early phases of talking about the game. What is it going to be? What modes are we going to have? And all that kind of stuff, all the details. So, fictionally happy to know that I'm not leaking anything because actually there's nothing to leak. It's much easier that way. When you don't know anything, you can't leak anything. Yeah, Nekmothar's carrying this team. It's deterred me to boosting. He's just getting me back around to ability so much faster. Yeah, the weaken would have helped. It's just typical that I weak hit, right? We weak hit with the weaken. It's totally ironic, right? I want to get rid of this head now. I shouldn't attack the Wrath head. That was silly. Let's just get Hex back out. This out. That's annoying. Stole the buffs. We'll probably finish around about 120 mil, I would imagine, at this rate. The consumption timers are getting a bit rough now, you know? We are taking a big punt of damage here as well, which doesn't help. But, like, you know, Shamael's already been eaten again. So, it is proving to be a little bit more tricky now to try and keep up with it. So, the run's coming to an end. Oh, that could have not happened. That would have been nice if that didn't happen. Oh, for the love of all that is real in the world. Stop provoking my champions. Right, boost. Heal everyone up because she was taking a bit of a batter in Hex. Give me my Shamael back. Nice. We double weak hit, but it's okay. This is the best this particular team has done. I think actually, this might be my record run. I think my best run was about 107 mil. So... I think this might be. You reckon Lord of the Rings? Did you see how much the viewership dropped, by the way, guys? they released a report that basically said that only 39 or 37% of people who started watching Rings of Power was able to finish Rings of Power. So they had, and apparently Amazon considers 50% good. Not great, good. So basically they had less than half of the people who started it are the people who actually finished it. I was one of those people, begrudgingly. Never want to watch... I mean, I say I never want to watch it again. You know I'll probably watch it again. Because I'm addicted and I can't help it. Even though I think it was awful, I'll still watch every single one of them again. Oh, I know it can do it, Almir. I'm refining it, right? I'm pretty sure I can get more damage out of Shamael. If I can get some more, like, more balance in it. Ideally, if I can get rid of one more support and bring in another DPS, that would be a big difference. Right? We're running 4 supports, essentially. If I can run 3 supports, 3 damage dealers, it would be a massive difference. If we could optimize our blessings a bit more as well, right? Because I haven't got Brimstone in this team, so that could be better. I think I actually, crazy enough, I think I have Necmothan Survival Instinct, right? Because I wanted more turn meter. Now, some people would go, I'll just put him in Brimstone. I don't really like Brimstone in AoE settings. That's why I tend to avoid having it. Right, there's the consumption, which is absolutely perfect. If I can get back round to it, so that's fine. We can get some damage there. Oh, we don't have it yet. Oh, this is going to be awkward. Should be fine, though. So we're going to get a boost in a minute. That's not ideal. If he provokes me, George, don't. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Song's weird. Don't want that one. Come on in, Gnute. Get him out. Boof, boof, boof. Lovely. There's nothing more enjoyable than watching Gnute just annihilate people with that A3, is there? That out now. Nice. Oh, I've hit the turn limit. That's the first time this team has hit the turn limit. Now, in an ideal world, we kill this head of Mischief. And that Mischief resets the turn meter of all these heads. If we can do it in time. Which is a bit tricky. Might be able to if we get back round to... Okay, it's fine. We take that hit. I guarantee you this transition is going to be the worst of the lot. Right, this is going to be the terrible transition because... Right, let's reset the turn meters. Great. Now, this is a dream situation right now because what we want now is Hex. Oh, we don't have it yet. Well, maybe we can kill the Wrath Head. Oh, I gotta wait one more turn, or do I just do it straight away? Oh, this is difficult. If I wait one more turn, I'm probably gonna get back round to it. So if I kill this head... Then we Hex. I think I get basically the perfect situation. Okay. This is Dreamland. This doesn't get any better. Are you ready to see how much damage this is going to do? This is absolute Dreamland scenario for Gnute, right? We have Suffering Head that is normal affinity. We have 4 dead heads. We have every single one of them under Hex. This is going to be gross, okay? Let's slow it down. Let's enjoy it. Here we go. Watch the number. We're at 1194. Okay, watch this. Here he goes. One, two, two, 3. 3 million damage. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. That would only get better if we could refresh it and go again. Absolutely disgusting. That is the perfect setup. That is absolutely everything that you could possibly want in his setup, where you get all the dead heads, you got suffering head up, you have hex on every single one. It doesn't get any better than that. Well, you can't get any better than that, George. I mean, I don't know if the hex with weaken works, George. It's the only thing that might be better, right? If you can get it, if hex actually multiplies by 25% with weaken, then that would be the only thing that improves it even further. I don't know if that works. Yeah, but it won't matter for the base damage though, George, right? Because you're hitting 10%, right? So you can't do any more raw damage from the actual attack on the suffering head. That's already capped. The only way that that weaken would make a difference is if it actually increased the hex component. If hex gets multiplied by 25%, I don't know if it does. We'll have to test it after this run just to make sure. Or maybe I can do a quick A2 here because this run should be coming to an end soon. We've more than hit my normal target, so I'm happy with this key, right? I normally would like to get over 90 million on Nightmare. We're at 124, so this is going to make the rest of the keys so much less stressful. I mean, we got it back. We will use the A3 here because every single one of these heads are up, right? So we should be able to know if the hex is taking 25% more damage based on how much we share, right? Because it's 10% cap, and he always hits cap. So we should be able to figure it out pretty quickly. We just need to wait for all these things to come out. Don't have block buffs, which is a bit of a problem. Poison Cloud Curd kind of messes up here. Oh, thank God for that extra turn. Might get us back round. Don't know if it will, though. So, we got weaken out on this head over here, right? So, this head over here should do 10%. So, keep an eye out on the left to see if it happens, okay? I've slowed it down. So, we're dealing 381. No, see, it doesn't. Look. Weaken doesn't affect it. Yeah? So weaken doesn't impact. So that setup that I had there, George, you can't get any better because weaken doesn't make a difference. It's ironic, really. You think it would, but it clearly didn't there. And this is why we don't run the A2, by the way, guys. It's a bit of a problem there. Thankfully, we can block it. Otherwise, that would have been awkward. Yeah, it is a bit sad. I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to get this person out this head, because I kind of used Knut's A3 when I shouldn't have done. Might be alright, though, with just raw damage. Can we get Necmo out? Yeah, we can. Never mind. Easy. Wasn't even a threat. Wasn't even a stress. Gnut has Giant Slayer. So yeah, so that is the perfect setup for Gnut's A3. You can't get any better. You've got the highest HP head, you've got everyone dead, and you've got everyone in Hex. It's going to do the most amount of damage in one ability. Let's just heal him up to make sure he dies. Probably just save that, I guess. The consumption time is so short at the moment. It's crazy. Could have not had Pad Alpazas. No, it won't make a difference. The thing is, you can only do 10% of the boss's HP, Elfish. So you're automatically capped. You can't do more than the HP cap. So therefore, the Hex is also capped because it's going to do 10% of the 10%. So you're physically capped on what you can do. It's one of the good things and one of the bad things about him. The good thing is it's easy to build damage in him because you don't need much damage. You don't need much crit damage. It's easy to hit the cap. The bad thing is you can't, like, it's where Whisper comes stronger, right? Whisper doesn't have a cap. The more stats you put into Whisper, the more damage you'll deal. Yeah, Trundle, obviously you can exceed the cap because Trundle's not based on enemy max HP, it's based on damage. So if something isn't based on enemy max HP, it's never going to have a problem. It's fine. I'm saving it because I want to go straight out. I mean, we might as well save that because it's up for a long period of time. I mean, I probably could have done 2 A3s in the time it's taken them to eat Ugo, so it's a bit of a mistake on my part. Yeah, well, the Hex is based on the original damage, so if the original damage is capped, the Hex will also be capped. Because the Hex is fixed 10%. You can't, like, grow it. The only difference is, for some reason, Decapitation seems to multiply it. We don't really know why one thing does and the other thing doesn't, but... Oh, it's for sure coming to an end now. Knut's been eaten, or about to be eaten, in 6 turns. Release poisons. Might as well do that. A smart man would have saved the A3 there. The A2. Because Knut was going to solve the problem, but I'm not a smart man. I'm actually getting to the point now where I'm kind of tired of this run. I want it to end. Just gonna smack this for some damage, shall we? Well, we're at 130 million. "75 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back from this." You know, this is probably the entire stream near enough. You just guys watching. The only downside is Shamael does take a lot longer. This is a lot, like 20 minutes of this is Shamael shooting his crossbow. So. Remember when you said 10 million more damage? Yeah, I know, right? Well, normally, see, it kind of falls apart around about 80 or 90 million because some bad series of events creates a situation where I can't get out of it. It's what normally happens, and then the team kind of falls apart. But I guess not in this situation. Might as well kill this. Oh, he refreshed. We're going to get another GNU A3. Yeah, I don't really know how you can give him the Rectodrath treatment because Rectodrath never used to attack. She just used to, like, wave her hands up and down, you know? Whereas he has to actually physically use his crossbow. Now, they are saying they're going to change his animation somewhat. I don't know what that means, but... Oh, don't eat him before he's got his A3 back. Come on now. Nice. Let's just go hit this head. Another one destroyed. Oh, he's got another refresh. Like, refreshes for everyone. Shame he's going to get eaten before he gets back around to it, though, probably, because this head's going to come out and eat him. I don't think there's anything we'll do about that. Unless we get, like, double boost. Oh, wait. There we go. Never mind. Let's hit this head. Oh, triple weak hit. Okay. That wasn't so successful. We lost the RNG on that fest. But hey, you know, it's like... At this point, everyone in chat is like, when will it end? He said he was going to be dead like 20 minutes ago. The answer is probably on this run, because trying to get Knut out is hard. Yeah, with an Uzi, right? Ugh, come on. It's like trickling down. I say, give me poisons. That gives me... There we go. It's not over yet. Shamael's in damage gear. I don't know what set he's in. We'll have a look after. What are we going to get out the next head then? Wrath? Of course it's going to be Wrath. Now we're probably doomed. I fully expect we're doomed here. At least we don't have torment out, I guess. That's going to help. But, you know, we've got to play the will good old Ugo decide to land the block buffs game. Well, we might as well use this on this because he's going to get eaten in a minute. Ooh, we save it? Do we save it or do we use... We save it because the Head of Suffering actually has the... is the one we want to hit anyway, and it's got the resuscitation thing. So we save it one more turn. Nice. Hex out. Would have been nice if we got our block buffs out, but we don't have it yet. Right, eat. Okay. Well, that's the end of this run. Oh, maybe if we double reflex, maybe if we triple reflex into an A2 on the Suffering Head. That's the win. That's the win here. This whole... Oh, I didn't reflex. I mean, he did a lot of damage, though. There's hope. It's not over yet. It is not over. I'm not willing to give up on this run just yet. Come on, Groot. Move your legs. Oh, so close. Oh, he hasn't got it. Oh, it's so close. Come on. Don't let me down, Gnute. That was a good chunk over here. Well, we somehow got it out of there. Now we just got to cycle. Give Nekmothar boost. Oh, he hasn't got boots. Damn, that's annoying. If he had speed boost. Okay, we don't have Hex now. That is a bit of a problem. Oh, we've RNG'd. Oh, not enough damage, though. Okay, I think now is the end of the run. Yeah, now it's over. Now it's over. Okay, it was a valiant effort. We got one more E3 to go. Like, you kind of like, I killed myself, but I didn't kill myself. I feel like the situation is untenable. Just go hit someone for more damage. Can we hit 145 million? No. It's all on Nekmo, the king of the jungle. It's gonna go. Oh, there, it's over. It's over. Okay, so there we go. So it's done. It's done. Well, Clash this week is easy. See what I mean about the difference, right? So if I did 100 million, that's so much more clash points I need to get. But because I've got an extra like 30 million in Nightmare, I only need like a little... I don't have to push crazy hard now on the other keys if I know we're not going to win, right? We're not going to beat that top clan. So I can kind of like hold my keys back until tomorrow so we get a cleaner picture of you know, how many more points we're going to have to put up. And then if I know that the clan is comfortable in position 2, I don't have to put much effort up. You know, it's really good. Like, just that extra 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, you know. It's such a big deal. Let's keep that result. But Gnut did 59 million, but he actually did probably like 15 to 20 more. He's probably responsible for about 75 million damage here, if not 80 million, because obviously all the Hex contribution gets given to Mithrala. Game, do not crash on me right now. Game. Oh, stressing me out that was. I didn't quite beat Shooter's Gnut, but he's got like 6-star. But you see what I mean, like in terms of blessings. I don't have... I've got him in Soul Reap because of PvE content. I don't have Brimstone here. I don't have like very good cruelty. Shamael doesn't have any blessings. So there's a potential. Like Shamael's built with lethal because originally I didn't have Mithrala, so there wasn't enough buffs. So I needed 25% more. But now that there's enough buffs, to be honest, he shouldn't be in lethal. He should be in like full damage. So we could potentially get another like 30 mil, like another 10 mil out of him, maybe 5 mil out of him. If we had like Brimstone in here, it could be a little bit more. But I do like Survival Instinct on him. It's more turn meter, right? I beat his Gnut, but I didn't beat his overall damage because he's got Michinaki is what I meant. So... you know, but we're not going to beat this guy. So the key thing is now, can we hit number 2 and get this chest, right? So we can get some, you know, some of these accessories. So that's the goal. Can we just hit chest 2? Because I don't really want to hit chest 3 because it's just, you know, it's not as good. We lose an accessory. But for me now, I don't need as much effort, right? Because I'll be able to hit 650 million comfortably. Comfortably. That's the value, right? See here, for example, Sammy J has done 89 million. That's 356 million because I've managed to push an extra 50 million. Such a big deal. Such a big difference. It's 200 million more. It's massive. Such a big difference. Is Mitchie still bugged? Yes. What's the Morley build? Morley is built. So I'll go through the builds there. Get out of this a second. What I need to do first is... plenty of time for that. So I'll go through the builds quickly. We've got... why can't I see champions today? Nekmothar. He does have counterattack accessories because we want to get the decreased attack out as much as we can. He is in Relentless. He is in 294 speed, 400 accuracy, full speed, as much speed as I can get. To be honest, he needs improvement because I should be looking at here going, can I get speed boots in Relentless that have more accuracy, right? At the moment, this has accuracy. So ideally, I'd want one with accuracy. None of these do. So I could probably afford to drop the accuracy to try and get more speed, especially if any of these speed boots were to awaken with speed. You know, that's what we're looking at here. Like, that's got a little bit of accuracy. Can I improve because of that, right? So I'd be looking to go, okay, well, look, does this have accuracy? Does it have speed? No. Because an extra 12 speed is huge. Every bit of speed you can get on Nekmothar is better. Better than what you've got. I wouldn't ascend a 5-star. I'd only ascend 6 stars, really. So that's the Nekmothar. Then we have got Morley. She is built in Reflex, just to help ensure I always have Provoke available. She is at 282 speed. It's a little bit faster because obviously we've got area bonuses. So 288. 400 resistance, 400 accuracy. Just to get back around to this as much as we can. We're not using this, but if we do, we've got it. She's not fully booked. That would help. But it's not a priority because the revive is a backup, not a need. Then who else was in the team? Then we had Ugo. We've got 2 Ugos. This is the one we were using. It is in 276 speed, a bit of defense, 3360 accuracy, but that's because we haven't finished upgrading this yet. So we'll probably do this in the next artifact enhancement. She's got 2 reflex because hopefully we can reflex back round to it, you know? As I said, with affinity, you know, people are saying, what about affinity breaker? Just go faster. Just bring 2 speed sets. She gets 100. She gets what? What's the speed set here? Speed set's what, 12? So she's going to get like 11 speed. So 22 speed instead of affinity breaker. Just better to buy the 22 speed and get another turn. It's better than affinity breaker in my opinion, just going faster. Affinity breaker is really good in a one-hit wonder scenario like Ninja in Sand Devil, where all you need him to do is 1 ability. You don't care about speed, so 1 ability, affinity breaker is better. In a long fight, just go faster. Put more speed. More speed. Yeah, you can go more Relentless. My Relentless gear is a bit stretched down there because I've got Whisper, I've got Mr. Die here, I've got Necmo, I've got Sissia. There's a couple of others, right? So it's difficult to get her in Relentless. In good Relentless, that is. Don't you need way more resistance on Morley? Not really. You saw she did a pretty good job there. She was getting eaten a few times. But keep in mind, eventually you'll get some area bonuses, George, so it could be as well that I haven't finished glyphing things, right? It could be that there's space for glyphs. Yeah, look, I haven't finished glyphing it. Glyphs. 6 there. 6 there. There's space for glyphing, which is probably why it's a little low. Then we have, who else did we have? So we had Shamael. I think it's this Shamael we're using. It's built bad because I built it before we had Mithrala in the team. So he is built for 101% crit damage, 223 speed, 257% crit damage, and 4.4k attack. Don't really care about accuracy, just all out damage. But as I said, I can probably rebuild him now out of lethal because we now have Mithrala. Before we only had 2 buffs, so we needed the 25% extra. He is in Giant Slayer for damage. And then we've got Mithrala. She's just built an arena team. She's not built for Hydra. Arena team. There's no War Master, which is what you should probably have. She's built purely in an arena build. 280 speed, 637 accuracy, 368 resistance. She's only got so much resistance because I have this banner. It's a nutty banner. So that's why she has resistance. Otherwise I'd put accuracy. So it's just built for arena. Ideally, I'd like to get more HP. Really, I should be changing this to a HP. You can see I've got HP with HP percentage, ideally. Ideally, I'd change this. I haven't rebuilt her in a very long time, right? So it could be that she's got a better build now. But because her A3 shield is based on her max HP, right? Some people were asking me, the panda says their max HP. This is what they would say if it was based on panda's max HP. It would say this champion's. Because it says there, it means the other person's. So it's important to have more HP on her because you get a bigger shield. And then, of course, the star of the show, Knut. Fully booked. He's built for masteries for Fire Knight, right? So he's built for full HP. He's built with the Arcane Celerity because we want to... He's built more for the Fire Knight. But he is in Reflex. 287 speed. 259% crit damage. Basically no defense because he doesn't do any damage on the A1 or the A2. 41k HP and enough accuracy to do what he needs to do in Fire Knight hard. It's got enough. Double refresh as well. This needs to be upgraded, right? So I'll be probably grinding some Shogun soon to upgrade this all the way to 12%. Get more crit damage. Ideally, this needs to be like 280 for Fire Knight. Mithrala's HP was 50,000. It's a bit low. And obviously, I would want to try and get more Soul Reap, right? Because if I can get to this threshold, it makes a big difference in a lot of content. If I can get to 4-star, Knut Souls are really important. So I came up with an easy fix for the cadaver bullshit. Just make it not usable in Hydra. That way they don't nerf the clan boss and fix Hydra Clash. What do you think? They could do that. But then... Why would you disable one champion because it's really strong in one content? That tells you there's a problem with the champion design. So you fix the underlying problem. You can still make him competent for the clan boss team. Just not do 4 billion damage. Because no clan boss team needs to deal 4 billion damage. You can make it so it can deal like 250 million to 300 million, because there's plenty of unkillable teams that can do that. Just cap him that way. You know, they cap lots of other max HP abilities that way, so absolutely fine. Am I going for a second GNU? I am tempted. I'll be honest, I am really tempted. Depends how long the 1+1 event is on and what the fusion's like. There's lots of different functions and features. So what I just want to quickly do, and then I'm going to end the stream because I've got a lot of things to do tomorrow, and I'm trying to like get a better sleeping pattern a little bit, is I actually want to talk about a potential Hydra team that I'm thinking about. And it's using champions you wouldn't think about. So right now the Brutal team that I've got is pretty set. We have Val and Whisper as our main damage dealers. We have Cursed Krisk. We have Husk as a backup, provoke, and max HP. So we got 3 damage dealers. Ugo to provide the block debuffs. And then we have Duchess. Now I will say it's a little bit ropey at the moment because I haven't got very good Cursed gear. And it could change up this. But this team is pretty much set in stone in terms of like potential for Brutal. It one keys quite comfortably. It can do about 40 to 30 million. It's good enough. This was my hard team. And I've been trying to find ways to maximize the value of Shamael. Because I have a +2. The cat woke up. Wanted attention. Okay. The cat really wants attention. So I tried introducing Brogni, but then I realized he actually outruns his increased attack quite quickly. So it's not ideal. Ukko, I really have problems with a little bit, but I feel like I can't really move him. Kantra obviously is good for damage for Brimstone, but nothing else. So I've been trying to find ways to like look at, okay, can I maximize the value? I put Mashalad in Cursed, which is quite good, but then you lose like the Ignore Defense from Lethal, which is obviously quite big as well. So, and the main problem with this team was a lack of decreased speed. So what would end up happening is I would get the Hydra heads killed. Yeah, I'm going to do it now, Acrobat, because I've got to do my Faction Wars dailies as well. I'd get the heads killed, and then the heads would basically respawn too quickly, because we have no decreased speed, right? Nobody in this team can do decreased speed, which is a problem, right? You want decreased speed in the team. So I was like, okay, well, how can I solve this problem? How can I adapt this team? So we've come up with this team, with the final position being taken up by Strategos Islin, or Strategos Islin, when I summon him tomorrow. Obviously, I haven't summoned him yet, so I can't summon him just now. But the idea is, with this team, we can take Salad and put him back into Lethal, and we make Suzerain Catone a Cursed Suzerain Catone. Islin comes in and gives us a Provoke, and gives us decreased speed, and gives us some more protection and healing. We get big DPS from Tuamacia, and we also get the HP burns if Poison Cloud comes out, so it's not a problem with Ukko. Ukko's still in the team because he just does give us a backup revive. He gives us decreased attack. He gives us increased speed. He gives us a lot of different backups. Not so much increased speed, but he gives us a lot of stability. And then Shamael for Torment. But this dude, I think he's low-key really good. So he's an A1 AoE, 50% chance to place decreased speed. $3. He's an A2, 100% chance to place weaken, and I always do the math wrong here, 50, 60, 75% chance of placing decreased defense. Now, I also have a backup decreased defense on Tuamacia. It's not a problem. So you pretty much get, on $3 here, it's on a 4-turn cooldown, which is a lot, but you can obviously provide Sniper, you can provide Master Hexer, that can help, you can build him fast. And then we have another AoE, which removes shields, block damage, and unkillable buffs. Not that that's a problem. Places a heal reduction, we don't really want that. So we could use this as well. So we have 3 AoEs, which means that Cursed is really, really efficient, because Cursed is always going to be up. We get a good backup decreased speed, and we get decreased defense and weaken. Paired with this decreased defense, right? We also get this, which is a backup decreased speed, but we also get HP burn, and then this cannon of an attack. This hits really hard. This is a really big damage ability. And we also get, then, with Strategos Islin coming in, which is a high elf, we will get the Provoke on a 75% chance. It's counterattacking. It's probably a 50% chance. It's still pretty good. We will get another guaranteed decreased speed and also decrease the enemy duration of debuffs. And then we also get this ally protection, so it helps keep the team alive, right? That's the main problem I was having a little bit. I was dying. This healing has been fixed now. So yeah. It's going to be... This is the thing, right? Panda has got reduce the duration of buffs and a decreased speed, right? He's got the same thing, but it's in one ability in a 3-turn cooldown. So it's more reliable. It's more consistent. It's always going to happen. He also has a Provoke, which the Panda doesn't have. So from a Hydra setting, if you're looking between Islin and Panda, you're like, well, Panda doesn't have a Provoke. She has more stability, or he has more stability in terms of healing, but it's all conditional. The shield's not very good because it's based on the target's HP, not my own. Whereas this guy will basically give you ally protection, which is way stronger, increased defense on himself, a massive defense shield for himself, so he's very stable. He's going to heal everyone constantly. He's going to then provide decreased speed and reduce the duration of buffs also. And he's also going to provoke. I just feel like he's a better champion for Hydra. Yeah, Deliana's good in Cursed. Basically, anyone who's got lots of AoE is good in Cursed. Yeah, I was tempted to try Vizix ULX, but I wanted to try and bring out Strategos because I felt like the healing is what I needed, right? You don't get healing with Vizix, you do with him. This healing component is actually quite good now they've bug fixed it. It will help a lot because really this team does not have any healing. You know, there's Leech, but that's all you're dependent on is the Leech. If we were to run this team, right? It would be my hard team. It wouldn't be my brutal team. This team only has Leech to heal. So it would just help in terms of that, you know? Yeah, exactly. Islin is just a much more competent tank. It's nothing wrong with Vizix. I would just use Vizix in a different configuration, right? Vizix needs a little bit more built around her because of the lack of self-sustain. Whereas Islin will keep himself alive, and we also get basically a little bit more consistency on the A1 because if something does happen badly with Vizix, then we can't get back around to it. You know, and also there's more stuff that actually works with Islin. You know, Vizix A1 doesn't do anything in Hydra. So that's what I'm going to try and build. We have worked on some masteries for Tumacia. We are going to make this dude a 6-star probably either tomorrow or in the next champion training. And we've got to book up Razelvarg. We've got to get Islin. We've got to book up Islin. The only downside is this is a 4-turn cooldown. But the good news is he doesn't need many books, right? He doesn't need an awful lot of books. And because he's triple AoE, Cursed is really good on this guy. Really good. You know, such a great champion. I don't actually know how big his base attack is fully ascended. Let's have a look. What is he? Is he an undead horde? Yeah. 1564. Really good base attack. I think he was recently buffed, right? This was recently buffed to be an AoE of both. It's still not perfect because it's not 100%, but it's pretty good. There's a fair chance I'll get decreased defense out on at least 2 or 3 heads, and then Tumacia can fill the gap with the A1, so it's not really a problem. But just having the ability to constantly AoE, I don't know if I'd use this ability or whether I just keep using these two. It doesn't really matter because we're not going to be in like Relentless or Reflex, we'll be in Cursed, so I'm really curious to try it. Any good way to deal with fear as I don't have Shamael? Rector Drath. For a Veil. Basically, the only ways you deal with it is Veil, Cleanse, or Veil or Cleanse, right? So Doom Priest to Hanorach options, or you go with something like a Rector Drath for the Veil, or you go for something like a double cleanse setup. Like some people so the way I used to do it is I'd have someone nuke the torment head, but I'd run Mithrala and Ugo alongside it and just try and keep RNG in the cleanse until you kill the torment head and just try and defeat it. So how does it work now? Does it heal? Yeah, it does. So the problem with Islin's passive was it would only heal the portion of HP that he restored, right? So what he was doing was, because he didn't restore any HP himself, there was nothing to heal, therefore there was nothing to share. They've changed it now that if he'll just heal everyone for 30% of the value of this heal, which is what Nia does. So it works exactly how it should now, so it's really good. Yeah, Kantra is still one of the best provoke champions in the game for Hydra, if you can fit her in the right team. So, question yourself, would it not be better to put Uko as lead? I mean, you get speed aura, plus he will cycle fast of A2 block buffs. Not when I want damage. In a sort of higher difficulty, maybe, but in a lower difficulty, I just want my Shamael. I just want Shamael boosting Salad, because the more attack Salad can do, the more damage I'm going to output. So I just want to constantly keep cycling Salad. I just want to keep doing it. What set would you advise on it? Probably Reflex, Enbel. Right, she's another problem with Duchess. You need to get back around to the Reflex, get back around to the A2, and it's a long cooldown, so you need to build her fast. So either Relentless or build her in Reflex, so you get back around to the ability quicker. Reflex would be more desirable, I think, because you don't really want to be, you don't want her to take turns out of her veil, right? You don't want to take turns to get to it. You want the cooldown to be reduced. So, but you know, I would suggest Reflex with it, because you just want to keep the veil up as long as you can. If you can get her in Reflex alongside someone who can extend the buffs, you'll probably keep veil up all the time. Because remember, when everyone's under veil, you're getting free resistance, right? You're getting free healing and stuff like that. It's really big. The longer you can keep the veil up, the better. It's really, really important. Did you see Mythical Cruel set in shop? Yeah, I did. I said I'm surprised it's taken this long. Right then, let's buy up. Let's buy this. What I do, I saved my tag team, so we got it really last minute. Yeah, draft in Reflex as fast as possible, ideally with a buff extender, so that it means that everyone is constantly under veil. That's the goal. If you can get that to work, you are laughing. It is still the age-old problem in Hydra. There's not enough block buff champions in the game, and there's not enough veil champions in the game. That will always be the problem until they start adding more depth to those two categories. It was great that they added Tora when it first came out, but they still need like another 3 veil champions in my book. Like, if you think about it, the block buffs options are Supreme Galek, the Void Legendary, Tahanarak, it's a Void Legendary, Archbishop Pintroy is a Legendary, there is Deliana, it's a Legendary, and then Ogo. I think that's all of them. I may have missed one, but that's it. Everything else is inconsistent. There is Fenax at 75%. There are other champions that can do it random hit, but none of them do it. Oh, and Umbral. I forget Umbral, but Umbral's a bit one-dimensional. And Ukko, yeah. But Ukko has problems, right? Ukko can't do it if there is buffs out. So if a head is respawned, he can't do it. If there is like the Vengeance Wrath, the Wrath Head's Vengeance buff, it won't work. If there's a Provoke out, if there's not a Provoke, what am I thinking about? So if they respawned, if there's Poison Cloud, or if there is a Wrath Vengeance buff, he doesn't place it. So it's a problem. Norog is good, but he's a bit one-dimensional. Doesn't have enough in his kit. Monkey as well. Yeah, Monkey is a big deal as well. So they are adding more and more, right? So it's getting closer. But it's still the fundamental problem of Hydra is there enough depth in the roles that you require to do it? And there isn't enough in Veil. For sure. There's just not enough Veil champions. There's not enough cleansers that can do it like Tahanarak and Doom Priest. Kantra can do it, but it's not consistent, right? She needs like two or three A2s to get it out, and even then it might not work. You just upgrade your membership, you don't have access to Premium Optimizer. You probably need to log out of the Raid Optimizer website, Wraith, and restart the extractor if you're on the PC, and then re-upload to the website. That should activate the premium membership. It probably just hasn't checked your recent subscription. Let's just throw you in. I agree, Aethelred. I do agree. All I recall with block buffs really is you always end up coming back to, I'll just use Ugo. That's what ends up happening. Mainly because you're using some of the other champions in better places. Like for me, I'm using my Wukong in Arena. He's not built for Hydra, so therefore I can't really use him in Hydra. So that's the situation you end up in, is there's always a reason why you can't use some champions. Ideally, the champion that I'd want the most is Bishop. Archbishop Pintroy is very good for Iron Twins, for Hydra, for lots of different things. He's one of those unique champions that can fill a lot of roles. No, because at least you get some good damage with Wukong, right? You can build him in a hybrid build where he does enough accuracy to steal the buffs, and then you can A2, and it does do damage. What you got to remember about Wukong is he ignores 50% defense on the A2. So he's one of the few champions that can actually do a big enough cannon to get people out of the Suffering Head, because he can ignore a lot of the defense, and the Suffering Head has a lot of defense, right? So he's one of the few champions that can actually break the Suffering Head's consumption cycle. So he's actually a little bit, he's got more to him. You know, Norog is one-dimensional because he places block buffs and that's it. And then he just sits there, right? He's got his passive, cool, but he just sits there, he doesn't do anything. Same as Umbral is a little bit one-dimensional because once she uses her provoke, she can't do anything for ages. The block buffs is really good, but she doesn't bring any damage or anything else like that, right? So you pay a very heavy penalty for using all of her abilities. Are we going to wake up the Shiramani? That's the question of the day. No, we're not going to so far. We're being smart. Yeah, Norog is one of those champions that needs a buff. He just needs more about him. That was my best Orcs faction time ever. So, CVC tomorrow, guys. The personal, so I got to prep up all my resources now, and I'll probably pull Isla in tomorrow. Got lots of booking to do. I probably won't be able to run that new Hydra boss team this week, I think. I'm going to have to wait till next week. So I won't be able to book everything until Wednesday night. So the reset will have already happened. So we'll probably have to run with what we did last week. But because we did such a big Nightmare key, I don't actually have a lot of pressure on those other keys. I can just one key them and still hit my 650 million requirement. I don't think we're going to win because that one key is just so obnoxiously strong. So we're probably going to come second, and then we'll go with there. But I'm going to end the stream there because I need to have an earlier night. I need to start getting better sleeping patterns. So I need to get my body ready for when we eventually go to Vegas in a couple of weeks for TwitchCon. So that is going to be the end of the stream. I hope that was fun watching Gnut waddle his way to victory. Good luck in your clan versus clan tomorrow, if you're going for it. Oddly enough, they decided not to put spider bonuses, but every other bonus is, I guess. Weird. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you. Did I book Razvark for Finite? No. That is tomorrow. That is for tomorrow. I've had to wait to Finite. I'm waiting for it. It's like, I probably will try and get some more bonuses. One thing I did notice just before I go, I'm in this weird situation where I'm just in gold, right? I'm about, what is it? 273-1. So I'm kind of in this position where if I lose a lot, I could potentially go get more silver medals. But in order to upgrade this, I need like 120 more silver medals. But I don't want to use the gold medals because when I hit level 6, I need 700 gold medals. So I'm like, I really want the extra speed. But I feel like I might have to like deliberately lose a bunch of battles just so I go back down. So I get to plus 14 speed quicker. Or I'll just have to basically waste 650 gold medals upgrading something to silver. Because if I'm now in gold so much that I never decay, I can never get another silver medal again. Which means I'm never going to be able to get 600. Which is fine because I can put it on here or I can put it on here, right? So it's not like I can waste those silver medals. It's probably better to do it on there. But I'm just like, oh, I'm so close to this one. I'd rather upgrade that then go into gold. It's so annoying. You know, so I'm like, I don't really know what to do right now. We'll see. But more speed is what I want here. So if I can get an extra like 14 speed, you know, this is going to put GNU pretty much, like Razovarg will be like 325, 326 if I could get those gold medals. Really push up even more. So yeah. Anyway, we'll find out what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you all in the next stream, probably Thursday, after the fusion has started. We'll see what happens. Have a good one.